Muscle Meals with Steve. Today we're going to be making veal piccata. It's been a while since I made a video and thought I'd start to add some new recipes that I've collected over the summertime. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is take a half a cup of flour and I'm putting it into a small Tupperware in order to dredge the veal in this mixture. And to that I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt and a half a teaspoon of freshly ground pepper. I already ground it because I'm using an electric grinder. It took me a few minutes. What we'll do is we'll mix that together. And then I will take out the veal and we'll dredge it in this and start the cooking process. Okay, I just wanted to show you, this is my veal. I purchased it pre-cut and pre-sliced as you see it. Here is our flour with the pepper and salt. And in the frying pan, I am heating 1.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and then I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of butter once the olive oil gets warm. Okay, my oil is almost heated. It's really warm, and I'm going to add the butter. And in the meantime, when that melts, I'm going to take the little strips of veal, the scallopini, and I'm going to dredge them in the flour. Shake off the excess, and then we'll drop this into the oil. I'm going to bread a few of them and then come back. I realized I had made French onion soup, which is another recipe that's online. Let me move it out of the way so you can see a little bit better. So our butter and oil mixture is hot. I have breaded 4 pieces of the veal. I'm just going to drop them into the frying pan, and they immediately start to sizzle. We're only going to cook them for about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes on each side. It won't take very long. I don't want to overcrowd them. So let me pause and I'll give you a shot of this in the frying pan. So the veal's been in the pan about 45 seconds since I turned off the camera, and it's just about time to turn them over. They're so thin you really don't want to overcook them. Let me give this a shot and turn them over, and you can see they've turned a golden brown. And I'll continue with the rest of my batch, and then I'm going to put them on this plate until I finished 2 or 3 batches of them. Okay, I'm about to add my next batch, and I'll show you. You're going to hear them sizzle. Remember, just 1.5 minutes on each side, and they'll be cooked. And I should have mentioned I bought this pre-packaged, but if you need to buy the veal, you can put it between 2 pieces of wax paper. You could also repeat this exact recipe with chicken if you desire. And you put the chicken breast between a piece of saran wrap or clear plastic wrap and hit it with either a rolling pin or a mallet to make them really, really small. So, okay, my next batch is in. I have to concentrate because I don't want to burn dinner, so I'll come back as soon as they're done. And here you can see the veal is golden brown, and I put it on a plate, and we'll come back to it in a few minutes. Now what we're going to do is take some white wine and deglaze this pan. I've poured off the extra oil and butter. I'm going to add 1 cup of dry white wine. We'll let that stir up all the pieces that are on the bottom of the pan and reduce it a little bit, and then we'll add some more ingredients. So I just poured in my cup of wine, and I'm going to let that reduce. I'm going to stir the bottom of the pan to break off all the dried pieces of veal that were from sautéing. And we're going to reduce this for 5 minutes. And then we're going to add half a cup of chicken stock, and we'll add a garlic clove that's chopped, some lemon juice, some capers, and then some parsley, and it will be ready to plate. Okay, we've been cooking the wine mixture for 5-6 minutes. I'm going to add a half a cup of chicken stock. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of capers. When you buy capers, they're going to come in a jar with a liquid, sort of like this. You have to drain them. Do not use the liquid. I chopped up 2 garlic cloves. The recipe calls for 1, but I like it with more garlic. So I chopped up 2 of them, actually cut them in half and then sliced them very thin. And I'm going to juice a lemon. I don't want any of the seeds, so I'm using a little bag to put the lemon in so that the seeds stay in the bag. It's a little mesh bag, sort of like a little screen. Now we're going to cook this for 5 minutes. You know what? Let me pause, give you a shot of what's in the pan. Okay, you can see that this is simmering. We're going to simmer it for 5 minutes. And then we're going to add a little more salt. We're going to taste it and see what the salt content is. And then we're going to add maybe 3 tablespoons of butter and some fresh parsley. Okay, the mixture's been cooking for about 5 minutes. It's not thick enough for me, so I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of additional chicken broth with a little bit of flour, just to make the sauce a little thicker. And we'll cook that for another minute or 2. And in the meantime, I chopped up a tablespoon of parsley. I'm going to toss that in. I tasted it during a little break. It didn't have enough salt, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt. And again, that's to your preference, so you can serve it like this and let everybody put their own salt on. And now I'm just adding a tablespoon of butter because I tend to cook a little bit lighter, but that'll be for the flavor. And what we'll do is we'll warm that veal when it's time to plate it and put some of the sauce on top. And here's a quick shot of the consistency of the sauce that we're going to put on top of the veal. It's just about thick enough. And I'm going to boil some water for some pasta tonight, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's plated. And here's the plated dish. It looks delicious. I'm serving it with ravioli and some baked zucchini. Enjoy! Thanks for watching another episode of Muscle Meals with Steve. I hope you enjoy the veal piccata. We all thought it was delicious. So anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, good health through good eating. Take care. See you next time.